Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Snap Ring Chronicles. Today we have another Ratchet teardown. But before we start, if you could do me a favor, if you enjoy this content, could you give me a like, share, and consider subscribing? That would help me out a lot. Today we have an Indestro Super 3275 Ratchet. Half inch drive. This ratchet is a little bit well worn. You can see it's been hit on the sides. That's what the handle looks like. That's the head and switch. It's a profile. You'll find these under different names also. Powercraft from Montgomery Ward had the same ratchet, and Wizard from Western Auto also had the same ratchet but with a different handle. They had like a flatter handle. Okay, let's open it up. This one has the retainer ring like same as SK and the round head ratchets. So you get a needle nose and you squeeze them together there. Okay. It's a little sticky there, so be careful about that. This is the ring, just typical SK style compression ring that goes around the mechanism. Here's the head. These are the teeth. I didn't count them yet, but I would say it looks like 40 teeth. But if I'm wrong, I'll correct it in the description section. That's what the teeth look like. Here's the edge, the lip for the retaining ring goes in there. Okay. Here's the mechanism. The switch comes off. This is what the switch looks like. Has a couple of protrusions. This one here especially helps in the switching. It's flat on the bottom of the switch. Okay, this is your mechanism. Fair warning. If you're easily frustrated by taking things apart and putting them back together, you might want to avoid taking this apart. If you have a lot of patience and don't get easily frustrated, then you might want to go ahead and take the rest of this apart. This is a little bit frustrating to get it all back together. Taking it apart is easier, but getting it back together can be a little hard. So take that as fair warning. Okay, this pawl, as you can see, has three teeth on each side. This is how it switches. There's a ball bearing there that switches the sides. And this protrusion here goes in between here. When you switch the switch, it gets caught here and switches it back and forth. Like that. Okay, to take this apart, you grab onto the pendulum here, but little by little pull it out, because the ball bearing is under a lot of pressure underneath, and you want to catch it with your fingers. Oh, it's gonna shoot out. Okay. There's your ball bearing for the switch. Here's the pendulum for the switch. Has a channel underneath, milled out. That comes in for the pawl. This is the pawl. This is what it looks like. Like I said, 3 teeth per side. Underneath. Okay. This switch with that channel fits in this protrusion inside the hole of the pawl. Like that. And it keeps the switch from spinning. And that's how it switches when it goes back and forth. It tilts on the ball bearing. Here's the spring for the ball. It's a long spring. That's what it looks like. And here, there's another ball underneath here. So that spring is putting pressure on 2 balls. That's what it looks like. There's the mechanism housing. There's a big channel for the pawl there. Real deep channel. That's the channel for this retention ring. It's pretty deep also, you see there. Has a protrusion here. That protrusion fits into this hole of the switch. Helps keep the switch in place. I think that ball on the bottom, I'm not sure what really it does other than exert pressure on the switch and holds it better in place, so it won't fall out as quickly or something. But interesting design. Okay, this is the hard part. To put this back together, you take your ball bearing that goes on the bottom and you put that in. There it is on the bottom. You take your spring, you put that on top in the hole. Okay, you take the ball bearing and you put it on top of the spring, balancing on the spring like that. My nail is a little bit long, so I'm able to press it down and move my finger out of the way enough to where I can get the switch back in there. You might have to put this in a vise or something and use a flathead screwdriver or something flat to hold it down real good. And be careful because that spring is under a lot of tension and that ball will fly across the room. I take the pawl a little bit uncanted like this because remember you have to put the switch, that cutout, in that protrusion. Okay. Alright, wish me luck here if I can do this. Okay. Alright, there we go. Yep, I got lucky. But that's the way it should go in. Alright. Next thing you do, what I do is I try to balance the pendulum on the ball. Try to get it balanced there if possible. Okay. It's not cooperating. Okay. Because you need to get that protrusion in the middle of that switch there. Okay. If you did it right, you'll be able to switch back and forth like that. Okay, you take this, take your mechanism, and you put it on the ratchet. Now you want to push in the pawl a little bit that's sticking out to get it in there. Alright, you got it in. Now you push it out a little bit to get this ring into the groove, like so. Okay, you take your pliers again, squeeze and push in. You make sure it's secure, it's not coming out. Now you test the ratchet. These switches have a good click back and forth. You can hear it. Hear that pronounced click. So it's pretty decent mechanism. And it has very little back drag when it's ratcheting, which is another good thing. So these are pretty decent ratchets. Okay, that's the teardown of the Indestro. Let me look at the numbers again. 3275 Indestro Super. Okay guys, take care.